And action. Ever since I came to live here, I wanted to streamline the process of heating up my room. When I got home, it was cold. When I went to bed, it was still warm. And the knob was always in a corner behind some cupboards, so it was difficult to reach. So I had a look at the heating knob that was on there, and it's this thing. You turn it, and then the amount you turn it, the warmer it gets. And basically, it all boils down to this component, which is in line with the water supply. And then if this thing is pressed, then it blocks the heating, and if it is released, then hot water can flow through and it can heat up your room. So that's about all that there is. Just this movement. So I decided to give it a go. Decided to imitate this one and automate this. So I bought a new one. I took the cap off and I had a look inside. It's this part. If you turn this, then a knob inside of here will turn. And in order to move this part, I made a stepper motor, and that stepper motor would turn the knob, and I could still manually adjust the knob itself. Downside was that it was very clunky. It needed a 12-volt power supply. This one would move outwards, so then it would misalign the belt. So this didn't really work out to be implemented. Although it was a nice project to 3D print stuff on existing parts and to make it work together. Cool, but not really working. Then later I stumbled upon this thing, which is like a Eurotronic Comet. And with this, with a small wheel, you can adjust the temperature and you can set desired days, and it would heat up in the morning and cool down in the evening, and you could also manually adjust it. So this was kind of nice. I took it apart, and what I found on the inside was that there was this motor. Don't know if you can see it. And with this motor, very small motor, and it only required like 2 AA batteries, and this would be able to push this small lever and heat up the room. So basically this was all that I needed. And on further inspection, I found that this one, let's see if I can still get it apart. Yes, had a Atmel chip in it. So basically the same ones as used in an Arduino. But it was very difficult to reprogram this again or to get any data out of this. So in the end, I just got it the whole product, and I only used the salvage motor with a whole gearbox to be able to turn the knob. And that's how I got to this product. And this is now the one that I'm using daily. And it is the same motor as you saw earlier, together with a small Wi-Fi chip and an H-bridge to turn the motor clockwise or counterclockwise. So here you can see the motor that fits, and it's all in a 3D printed housing. And that goes together with the PCB, so the Wi-Fi chip, stepper motor. You can disconnect the motor itself. You can replace these 2 modules. There are some components under there. There are some buttons to either heat up the room, cool down the room, or stop whatever is doing. And there's an RGB LED that gives an indication whether it's heating up, cooling down, or whether there's a problem with the module. And so this one is connected over Wi-Fi and implemented in my home automation. So for example, whenever I leave school, it turns up, already starts heating if it is actually under the desired temperature, and it cools down. It heats up before my alarm goes off, and yeah, that makes it a lot simpler. As you can see, still it's very much a work in progress. So now I just use a PCB proto board and some hot glue in order to make it some simple 3D prints. But later this will be a bit more finalized. But it's always important to start with something minimal that proves that your solution is working. And I've been using this for the last 2 weeks, and actually it's super nice. I can show you now the online interface where I can set it and where you can see how it implements and how it heats up and cools down the product. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates on this later. But so far I have a warm and cozy room, so that's super good. Here you can see my Home Assistant instance. And then if I go to downstairs, here you see my heating. Actually now at this moment it is still off. So let me just turn the whole product on. So this is how it's connected. Gives a small indication that it's turning on and connecting to the Wi-Fi. And then as soon as that one stops blinking, then the module should be back online on the Home Assistant. Heater, it says it's online. Let's go back to the downstairs. Yes. Okay, now you can see that it's back online. Here you can see my thermostat. I can set it to the desired temperature. So for example, 16 degrees, and then it will cool down until it's 16 degrees. Or for example, 24 degrees. And now you will see that it will turn on. So it will turn on, it will heat up the whole product. And you see that the heater is now on. It gave an indicator light that the light was on. So I can also turn on this indicator light, make it various color. And this is used to inform the user on what actually is happening on the product itself. And then you can also see that once I put it back to lower, that the motor will move and that it will cool down the room. Here you can see the history. So here it was heating up until 20 degrees. Once it reaches 20 degrees, it cools down a bit, and it keeps it nicely around this value of 20 degrees. And then later, if I say cool down, then my room will slowly cool down and keeps it on the lower temperature at night. And then during the day, it will heat up again. I let it warm up at 8. I get out of bed at 9 something. And then it's already quite warm, quite nice. It's getting warmer, so that's super nice. Now I detached it from the heating, and so that will give a slight problem. It's not actually heating. And then it's based on this temperature. So this is the temperature in my room, and it will try to correct the heating for this temperature. And yeah, that's about all it is.